Hey,
Hey,
David,
Alex.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
So I guess we should start with a quick introduction before we start the show. So I'm Dave. You can find me in the Discord. I'm under the name of David at Restack. Also Captain Morgan 79. My co-host here, Alex. If you want to give yourself a quick introduction.
Yeah, I'm Alex, one of the co-founders of Restack.AI, and I'm in the Discord as Alex in Oslo and Ukraine, I believe. I'm not sure. I think it's just Alex in Oslo in Discord. But I have somewhere also they handle Alex in Oslo and Ukraine. My partner, Tron, we're still waiting for him, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to come because today is Easter. So I haven't, I sent him a message and we'll see if he comes. If he comes, then he does. If he doesn't, we'll wing it.
Yeah, of course, of course. We're going to have to wing it quite heavy because today we've got an agenda, and in fact, half of it was actually Tron going over things like. Let me have a look at my notes. So we had. Oh yeah, of course. So Tron was going to go over the Pioneer Grant, the updates, how things are going on with that, and answer questions about that we've had over bots and security. So that was going to take up a large portion of the start of the stream. Also, he was going to speak about why smart contracts are hard to write. Obviously, we've been having to try and persuade people into accepting some Battledome updates. And obviously, I thought he just joined us, but obviously not. Let's pop the agenda on the screen. Before we start, obviously, we've got a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. We may be talking about crypto products and financial type products, but we certainly are not financial advisors. So there's your disclaimer. Have a quick read by all means. And then we're going to move along.
Yeah, we're just giving our opinions. You should always do your own research and make your own decisions. You never know what's going to happen next. So
Exactly.
yeah.
In this volatile marketplace where a lot of people lose a lot of money. Now, I'm glad to see we've got a couple of viewers today. We've already had someone say hi in the chat, which is great. Crypto Jack, thanks for saying hi. We do have a giveaway in our Discord AMA channel. So if you go over to our Discord and in the AMA chat, and as you can see, I've got the assistant working today, letting us know, reading out the chat. So if your chat is interactive, it comes straight into the live stream. I guess we're just going to have to wing it. So if we skip past, if we skip past some of the sections that Tron was going to do, but maybe you can talk a little bit about this yourself, Alex.
Yeah, sorry, it's been freezing. I think I don't know. I mean, this is I guess a cloud-based streamer, so
it should be working fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're using anything that's memory intensive on your PC. I would try and switch it down.
Okay.
I would even switch off anything like Discord or
yeah. This is the only thing. This is the only thing I have open now.
Okay.
So.
Let's just do a quick shout out to the guys in the chat then. Is it jumpy to you or is it working fine? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Okay, we can give them like 10 seconds.
So Dave, if Tron is not able to come, we'll just put those agenda items off to next week's live stream, and then we can discuss the other things today and maybe just have some free flow. Because I haven't seen anything from him, but I know today is Easter Sunday in Norway, and yeah, that can usually get people tied up. So
yeah, you still with us, Alex?
Syndicates to get some funding so that we can work with a local university here in Ukraine that is actually quite skilled at IT security related issues. Yeah, as you know, Ukraine is at war with Russia, and even before the war, there was always these hacker attacks. Developed a lot of education and know-how when it comes to dealing with hacking, bots, all of these things. So I wanted to do a tie-up with them here to see if we could get a study, to look at the data, right? The block data on chain, to interact with it using one of the APIs and start looking at patterns and see if there's any advanced patterns we can discover. And then once we understand what the patterns are, we might be able to develop some solution to squashing those bots. And that can be done with AI. I was already doing some research today, and there are some tools and companies that are dealing with this. Apparently, like 40 to 75% of the Web3 games are infested with bots, because it helps automate. Essentially, you write a program and it goes through the routines for you, so you don't have to physically do it, and then it boosts your earnings, or because the more you play, the more you earn. That's the way the dynamic works. So obviously the bot can automate that, and you can make money in your sleep, as one would say.
Yeah, well, this is it with something like Alien Worlds, for example, where you just have to log in 1 time per hour, etc.
Stream elements. Streaming daily. Retro, modern, crypto, chess. Follow me and we will kick ass together. Team Dragon's Blood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've got to find a way so I can just switch the chat assistant on and off. But yeah, something like Alien Worlds is just like, you log in once an hour, press a click button. A robot could do that for you, and obviously it, if you was controlling a lot of these robots, then you could be taking a lot of money out of the hands of the actual players, and we don't like the sound of that. Especially if there's a large quantity. Say, for example, half of them. We think it's more, but say, for example, half.
Yeah, we have a hypothesis. We don't have any way of knowing unless we have the data.
We don't know.
Right?
No, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so.
Say, for example, hypothetically speaking, it was half. That means that half of the money is being taken from the gamer's hands and put somewhere. So, we want this campaign that Alex is trying very hard to push forward is to do right for the gamers, for the players, for the masses, for the whole, and to try and stop any corrupt, people that are controlling these bots and taking that money away from the players. So I think it's a really just cause, and I've got to commend Alex for putting the time and effort in to do that, just to want to help the space. And I, like I said earlier on in the week, after Alex did a very good speech on our Twitter Spaces for Alien World, and I have to say that he was coming across like the ambassador of the area, like very much, saying the right things. From my point of view, very impressed, and that's why I'm very happy to be working alongside Alex, because I personally believe his heart's in the right place, and that means a lot to me. So yeah, let's move along. We've got more slides here. We've got more things to talk about. We mentioned just now about play to earn. Now, someone mentioned earlier on in the week that maybe Battledome wasn't a play to earn because it's very difficult to get into the top 3, say, for example, where the big prizes are. Now, the funny thing is, we certainly don't just have free players. We've got hundreds, if not thousands, of players playing, and what they are earning is a very quick ROI, especially with our new beginner update, where you can make a team of a team and start playing the game for less than $1. And you can immediately start earning these skulls, and you can trade these skulls in our marketplace within Battledome to earn other NFTs. So the NFTs that you originally purchased, you can get back through playing the game, means that you didn't pay anything. And then every NFT you earn from there on in, that's why we call it play and earn. Play to earn. Okay.
Yeah, it follows a dynamic that's quite common in the space, so that, we have tiers. So the people who do have the epic cards, the nice NFTs and everything, they can compete in one space. And then we have also a beginner league that is just limited to the basic cards. And, yeah, the repair mechanisms, that's also in line with other games. You can, it's like freemium. It's the freemium model. You can play a few times, see how you like it. You can wait a day, and then, yeah, of course, the more you play, the more you're likely gonna get placed. But in the beginner league, it's more democratic, I would say. The advanced league is, it's advanced. You need advanced cards, tactics, everything. But we have 2 leagues, so there's something for everybody, and we're going to continue to refine this, and make and flatten things out as we study the data and see what's happening. It's a continuous improvement process. But if one looks at how much revenue we got, you can go to bank.dome. There's an address on the blockchain. I think it's where the repair revenue goes. I can tell you, we were doing accounting the other day. It barely covers the hosting fees and overheads. It's not like we're getting rich off of this. I don't know if people are.
Oh,
you're paying pennies. You're literally paying pennies for these repairs. A trillium is like 2 cents. So
there's not, obviously that comes into one of the questions where people are talking about sustainability. But the funny thing is the more people play, they want to earn the prizes. In order to get the prizes, or in fact, especially the top 3 prizes, the high level prizes that are worth, hundreds of dollars, they're going to want to fight amongst each other to try and get those. And that's going to create more prizes for the pool. As the game progresses, there will be more updates. And with the updates comes more reasons for someone to maybe want to invest into the game. And with that, you will have its own economy, so it will pay for itself. And we're trying to make it a simple game. It doesn't have to be too complex, very simple. And we do, of course, want it to be self-sustainable. So yeah, that's the business model. It's very simple, very straightforward. And there's lots of updates available, but that's if the community want that. Next up, we can talk a little bit about the leagues. So we was just talking about beginner league and advanced league in Battledome. As you can see here, we've got lots of players going on at the moment. I'll full screen that 1 second. So yeah, so season 8 already. There's some fantastic prizes available, and we've got the advanced league. This was all updated this morning, I think, so things might have changed by now. But as you can see, there's lots of players, there's lots of action. There's people are competing for these points. Now, the next screen is going to show you a little bit more about the numbers here. So as you can see on the left, the white badges are the beginner games. The purple badges are the advanced games. So as you can see in this picture, there's a lot more white badges than purple ones. This means a lot more beginner players. That's new players coming into the game. So the player base is growing, and we can see that. In fact, we've had a unique players this month so far, and we are on the 9th. So only on the 9th day of the month, and we're having the equivalent of some months. So 238 players so far this month, and we're only at the start of week 2. So numbers are definitely going up. Games are going up. We're quite happy with the progress, and it was a very wise decision to push forward beginner league over some of the other updates. We do try and prioritize the updates in the order where they are most needed. Okay, and they have been discussed for a long time. This is going back till Christmas. Since Christmas, these updates have been discussed. It's a long time. Here we go. We've got the first quarter. We've literally done all of this in the first quarter. All of the green they're all checked off and done. Everything in first quarter is complete. Some of those was done free by the team. Some of them was paid for by the community.
Hack 21. What is the split between beginner and advanced players?
Fantastic. Thank you very much for getting involved in the stream, Crypto Jack. At the moment, I would say, I can't be specific on numbers. We would need Tron for that. He's our data analyst. I'm the community manager, and Alex is basically the general manager of Restack.AI. So he doesn't just look over Battledome. So Tron's the man for the actual figures, but let's get back to this. So we've done all of quarter one. We're moving into quarter two. But what I would say is it seems to be more beginner players now than advanced. Not loads more. It's just slightly more. I'll try and get you the actual figures for next week or when we get Tron on. Right, but going back to it, quarter two, we've got daily login rewards. This is something we've talked about. We've got the name tags that everyone seems to want. You know, I do get private messages. I do get messages from people where they want their name on the leaderboards. It makes sense. They want daily login rewards. They want the leaderboards updated so they can see all the histories of how many win streaks, this, that, and the other. They want the planet dominance fix so all of the planets can fight against each other. I'm getting all that messages, but at the moment, you know, there's a bit of a gatekeeper situation on. So at the moment, we're just cracking on with our lives. But these purple ones here are what the syndicates are working, have actually funded. And Tron is working very hard, and he's actually making a lot of headway with these syndicate grants. So the panel, I believe, is well on its way. Like I say, we're going to wait for him for that. And any other updates for quarter three, that is all chosen by the community. So if anyone has any suggestions or any updates they want for Battledome, please fire us a private message. We also have a focus group where if there's anyone seriously interested in the development of Battledome, you're more than welcome to come into our focus group where we discuss a lot of updates. So hang on, we've had some messages from the community. Okay, so Bulger's mentioned here what the split is. Cards, use all your cards. I'm not sure if that's on regarding player amounts. So last week and the week before, that picture there was me. I was stressed out trying to get proposals to go through. But this week and going forward, this will be me. Because I'm a bit overdoing that and getting stressed out because it didn't seem to get me anywhere. So this is the new Dave, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, have you got any input, anything you want to talk about, Alex?
Well, I mean, we can, I guess, talk about the macro that what is going on in the crypto world these days. This week could be quite interesting. You know, coming up. You know, so we're like right on what, $28,000 Bitcoin, and it's up. Seems like 28,000 was the test. I was thinking that 25,000. We break through 25,000. This thing is running loose. You know.
Yeah. So I've put it on the screen here, Alex.
Yeah.
Those levels are the Fibonacci.
My day. Laughing smiley.
Yeah. So those Fibonacci, those are the Fibonacci retracement levels, and those colors usually. You know, I'm not a professional chartist, but I've been studying charts for about 3 years now, and what you can see is that Bitcoin is about to break above a high level of resistance, and as such, a lot of these smaller coins have been popping off, and I've seen coins going wild. Yesterday, we had a 94% increase on one of my coins that I hold. But there's lots of coins going up 20%, so it's going absolutely wild at the moment. But do take into in mind that this might not break through.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. You know, this is very much like looking in the rearview mirror and then saying, "Oh yeah, there's a pattern." But you know, there could be like a macro announcement, like, you know, right now Binance is in some hot water, right? And
yeah,
if the US,
Sorry.
you know, in any minute, you know, the charts can be can be thrown
Yeah.
off, or it can be, you know, I'd say the thing that's affecting Binance the most right now is probably the interest rates in the U.S. Right? If they say that the U.S. economy has, you know, the inflation is stopping and the Fed can stop raising rates, I think that would have the biggest impact on the price of
Yeah, I
Bitcoin.
agree.
Because the interest rates are everything. The interest rates are probably the single most important factor affecting, you know, everything from outlook in companies, you know, because that's the cost of borrowing money. And the cheaper it is to borrow money, the more dollars are in the, that's like a dollar weakening thing, right? To lower the interest rates, and raising the interest rates strengthens the dollar because it
Yes.
tightens up the supply, and then you get paid to hold dollars. The banks in theory will pay you to hold, you know, staking, right? I mean,
Yeah.
staking
Yeah,
is
that's
just another word for a term deposit, you know.
basically the banks are staking as well with their interest rates. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, yeah, when you stake your crypto and you earn crypto, that's just a term deposit, you know. It's
yeah.
and so the
Yeah.
higher
Oh,
the
well,
rate of the term deposit, the more that crypto is worth, because, you know, you just get paid to hold it. So then that's what people do, is they hold it. But so it's you know, but inflation in the US, in my view, this is just my view, not financial advice, is still high. And if you look back to 1979 or 1978, the Fed went all the way to 18% to kill the inflation. And at that point, inflation is the most scary thing to them. Also, deflation is very scary, and that's why they were doing all the stimulus. But they always seem to be overdoing on both extremes. So I'm always cautious. I don't rule out that they. I mean, yes, the banks are blowing up and everything, but it seems like they have ways to contain that. It's not as devastating as 2008. You know, so just like every other technology advances, financial engineering has advanced, you know. And I know there's all these, a lot of people in crypto, there are these doomsday end of the dollar, end of the world type of people. But, you know, it's blockchain as a technology. I don't think it's a monetary replacement. I mean, to some degree, that Johnson and Johnson, but I don't see it taking over the whole world unless it's through central bank digital currencies, because you still need a country, and you need rules, you need a military, you need police, you need rule of law. I mean, if all that stuff disappears, crypto isn't going to save you, you know, so
yeah, I
it's
completely
a
agree.
speculative asset, and it
Yeah.
reacts to interest rates, it reacts to market sentiment. You know, that's my view of it. You know, that's
Yeah. Binance is going to be a big problem if they do end up having a lawsuit go in against Binance. And but he's always said that he's always clean. They've managed to get his text messages or something. And this problem they've got with Binance goes back to, I think it's something silly like 2017. So it's nothing recent. They're trying to chase him for things that happened like 6 years ago. So I'm hoping it's going to be okay. Like I say, this could turn around though. If they've got bad inflation numbers, on Thursday they come out with, I think it's called a PPI, where
yeah,
they talk
producer
about,
price index. Yeah.
yeah, and it was only in February when I think a pack of eggs in America went up to something like $13, and everyone was going crazy. Hopefully that's come down, and if it has come down, I see Bitcoin breaking through this and going up to, what would the next level be on that? Let's have a quick look on my. Oh, I don't know. I can't see it, but looking at that screen, it could break up above 30, go towards 36K, and I think that the coins, all of the market, the whole market, the total will just go crazy. And
Oh yeah,
we'll
yeah.
have
It can run loose. I mean, I don't say that. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make sense that go way up in price, but I definitely do feel that too. But
Yeah,
and
and it
it
doesn't
takes
take long.
everything goes up with it, like the altcoins, everything goes with it. But also stocks will run, gold
Yeah,
will run, everything else will run too. But yeah, crypto seems
yeah,
to be like accessible to the masses in Istanbul Blockchain Week. And crypto is like easy access for the average person in Turkey. They don't like if you want to trade U.S. stocks, you can do it through your bank, but you need like I heard a minimum of $1,500, and the fees are high. So crypto gets you in, and I think this is the case. And like so, yeah, I can see it running if the interest rates in the U.S. break, if the rate hikes break, and there's some sentiment from the Fed that inflation is under control. And now we're just pausing. Even pausing would be enough. But if they start cutting, oh wow, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, and like you mentioned just now, a lot of things will run. But the problem I've got, and I've seen it because I watch charts. I'm looking at 60 coins on a daily basis. You know, I don't spend all my time doing that, but I'll try and spend at least an hour a day checking, you know, what's going on the charts. I know sometimes you could call it a waste of time, but let's look at this coin because what the problem I see here is it's not really following the trend. As you can see, Bitcoin's about to break loose. I've had a lot of my coins that are going wild. I don't want to say too much, but it's just not looking good. Next, I'm going to talk about a coin I mentioned a couple of weeks ago on, I think, the first AMA. Now, this is one of the coins I've been watching because I invested in it over a year ago. So you could say that, you know, I'm biased. But the thing is, this coin, there's a reason why I'm mentioning it. Is this is like the future of Steam for Web3 gaming. You use a coin called Ultra. It's not even on Binance yet. You have to buy it on KuCoin. Now this is launched on the 25th of April. So at the end of this month, this actual service is launched, and it's a major thing in the gaming industry. They've been going for years, a really strong team. And if you look at their chart, and also I wanted to point out, because I've made a ring at the bottom of this, their social media is on fire. They've got so many people talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
They've got so many comments, so many retweets. It's going wild. I don't want to get, you know, too heavy here, but some other projects, we're not seeing that. We probably see like 2 or 3 comments. Like
Yeah,
a real
it's been gone. It's Web3. It's like in waves. But I tell you, when if Bitcoin and stuff comes back, all of a sudden everyone becomes an expert. But this is a very good point about the engagement. You know,
Yeah.
so these guys got 439,000 views, but only for that 439,000. So you see, there's like around 1,400 people that are actually pressing likes, which means they're not just skimming, scrolling through, but they're actually reading the post and reacting to it. And
Yeah.
then 744, which is very good, have decided to forward it on, and so that's getting the views. So they're doing a pretty good job of building the awareness, and then the commenting 176. So
You know,
around.
it's active. You compare that with the coin we was just looking at, and it's worlds apart. Look at
Mhm.
this next one. So here's actually what's going on with this one as well. Can you see that? Yeah, that green tail. It's pumping up. I
Yeah,
think this coin's gone up 30% in the last week off of the news of the release. Now, don't forget, I bought into this over a year ago, and I'm a firm believer in the company. So I'm going to be holding for some time to come. But you can see the difference. That's what
mhm.
I'm just trying to say. There's activity here, and it's moving with Bitcoin. And with Battledome, we're giving that TLM a use case. You
Yeah, I mean
know?
that's important for the alien worlds overall. Is they have to promote the projects that consume the Trillium and use the NFTs. And that's what we aim to do. And it can be anything. It doesn't have to just be games. It could be maybe some app or some
Yep.
service. I was thinking like selling merch, and maybe people pay with TLM, and
Yeah.
they get
Anything.
some T-shirts or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of ideas that can be tried, and And
I really like your idea about Amazon because, you know, if you can start shipping out, and because the thing is, if you put Alien Worlds onto a jumper, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a pair of socks, a shoes, whatever, if you put it onto anything, if someone buys it, then it's branding walking around. People are going to ask, what's that?
oh
What is
yeah,
that? You
it's
know, so
powerful.
you're a walking billboard. You know, this is the kind of ideas we want. We want things that work. We actually want people spending TLM.
I think there
Whereas
wasn't there a company in the UK paying people 10 grand to have their logo tattooed on their forehead or something. So you
well, they do
paid.
that all over. You know, people are crazy, and some people are willing to get tattoos on their face for 5,000. But you know, like that's what I want to see. I want to see use cases for TLM. At least Battledome gives a use case. You know, you
Yeah.
can spend that TLM. That's what you need. If you don't get that, you're like let's talk at this like a business,
Mhm.
right? Your business is in having, let's say for example, in this business where we've got coins, we need them spent. But if you just give the coins away, but no one spends them on anything, they just go back into a market and the whole price of the business goes down.
Well, I
So
mean,
you,
the problem is I don't have so much of a problem of, putting coins back out in the ecosystem for mining rewards or for missions, but we have to understand the bot situation first.
yeah,
That the people eligible, there should be some sort of verification. If just the baseline, like I was reading an article today, like they say at minimum 40% of players in the games are bots or using bots or something, then it really doesn't, because this is like usually like part of user acquisition, right? That you give some reward, and then it brings eyeballs to your
yeah,
game,
you've got to
brings
give something.
users.
I get that you've
Yeah,
got to give something.
yeah. But if it's going to bots, then it's a problem. So
A big
then it's not paying back. Then you're not getting a return. So that's I guess like what we're gonna look into is like, and it's an interesting project. It would be something of I'm seeing that there's connection issues here.
My point of view, bots take a
You know,
them from players.
yeah, I don't know if it's choppy or not. I just saw a message that the connection was lagging or something, but this is very good use of AI. I mean, we have AI in our name, right? So we take some data, we look at some data sets and analyze patterns. I mean, the most obvious pattern for a bot is that, let's say it runs like on the hour, every day. Those kind of bots are probably very easy to catch. But you can use AI to program the bots to follow natural human patterns. Like it works off of the clock on your computer on odd number days. It logs in, on these times, and then takes like 8, 10 hours to account for sleeping, takes off lunchtime. So it looks like a real player,
Yep.
but it might still leave a pattern. It might be able to detect like based, because there's always going to be some graph, and it'll like a heart rhythm graph. It's there's like it's like this, it goes up down and then goes up down, and there's like several patterns in there, but over the long run you can see the overall pattern. But if you look at just one of those heartbeat pieces, it's all different. So yeah, that's something AI could like sort through all that data and look at like polynomial equations, right? It's just like, to the third or fourth order, it can start detecting that, because ultimately there's going to be a pattern, whether it's fixed on different aspects,
Yeah.
and AI can probably detect that.
And what we need to do, because the players are the people with the most voice. It's not the person controlling the bots. They don't have the big voice. The players are the ones with the voice, and they're the ones that are getting hurt. So if we can get the word out that the players are having their funds taken away by probably
Mhm.
more than likely a very small amount of players who control the bots, the whole is getting the whole player base is being upset and having their funds taken away by a very small number of unscrupulous people. So we want those unscrupulous people held accountable. And that's why We think that the whole community should gather together to have this bot problem eradicated as soon as possible.
Yeah. I don't know if it can ever be eradicated. It's like an arms race, right? We will come up with something, obviously. You know, if we start working with a local university here in Lviv, Ukraine, that's had a lot of experience with this. And then, you know, the bots also, you know, they're using the same technology to adapt. And so it's going to be like an ongoing issue that the, you know, but that is the one thing, the bots always have a pattern, and then you have to, the anti-bot software has to always adapt and learn these new patterns. You know, maybe the bots of the future will work for a short time and then jump accounts and then work. I mean, I really am pro KYC and registering accounts or something, you know, but there's many, you know, in the Web3 space in general that, you know, are,
But
you know,
isn't it
all
true,
about this,
when you
you
say that
know.
these people that are using the bots, they're committing fraud? Is that correct?
Well, of course, it goes against the terms of service of a game or any game, and it's, yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting problem to look into, and you know, I can tell you from you know, if we can get this right on alien worlds, right, this is technology that can be you know, reused in other projects. Um,
Here we go. There's a message from a community member there. Maybe we can talk about that for a minute. Can you see it, Alex?
Yeah, one way to combat bots is to add more gameplay to blockchain games. The gameplay that requires humans, yeah, more intelligent, you know, decisions. And I mean, we have that in Battledome. You got to make decisions, you know, which cards you select, which moves you select. You know, there's phases, you know, earth, wind, water, type of thing, you know, and we're continuing to take more of those metadata things into account. Um, you know, so if you
We've
just
got
write
another one
Alien
here.
Worlds bot, and
So Bolga said, if you write Alien Worlds bot into YouTube, you can find tons of bots that are like pre-made.
yeah.
Yeah, so there is a concern, obviously, with the community seeing these comments, and just the fact that, you know, the players are probably only seeing, like, I can't quote on statistics, but, you know, let's just say it's half of the money are not going to them; they're going to a very small amount of people.
Well, we don't know yet. We have to
Don't know
study
yet.
that. I mean, we have to kind of keep an open mind here.
Yeah, we really want to
You
find
know,
out, though.
we have to go at this like we have a hypothesis, like scientists do, and then we have to test, you know, take a sample of the data, and then see if there's anything nefarious going on, and then we, once we understand how these bots are working through the data, right? Because everything leaves a footprint that can't be removed in the blockchain, right? That's the blockchain is immutable ledger. You know, it cannot be changed once it's there. You cannot redo it, you know, or erase it. I mean,
Yeah.
in theory. I mean, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. You know, with Wax. You know, that I think there's like a 15 seconds. You know, when a transaction is writing, that you can undo it or something. I noticed that there's like a pause,
Yeah.
and then once you once it's paused, it's or that pause period is over, it's permanent.
But the good news is, Alex, you'd be working with a team that are very qualified, very educated on these things, and it would be great if we could try and clamp down and at least get to the bottom of it.
It would be enough to just be able to detect them and then come up with some countermeasure. I mean, from a business standpoint, that could be our business, you know, in the future, you know, because with AI coming, there's going to be bots and like everything, you know, bots and like trying to guess passwords, you know, and doing DDoS attacks and whatever. I mean, once you have a technology like anti-bot technology, it can really be it can be you know, it can find many other. It can go bigger than just, you know, trying to help out a single game. It could be like a product in of itself that can be used in many other applications.
Because think of it from a business point of view. If you're a business and you want your customer base to get the most they can get, and if there's unscrupulous characters that are taking a lot of that, and that means that their customer base are getting cheated. So it's really in the eyes of the business owner to make sure that's stopped so that their customers can get a good amount of whatever they're giving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
important.
Well,
But
I want to answer this one, Wax Detective IO, right?
yeah,
Is there any way, yeah, we want to get Bulga's comment, but who owns this, right? Who owns Wax Detective .io? I'm just looking this up right now.
yeah. Well, like
Because
I say, this is a pretty relaxed stream because we did have plans for Tron to really go deep on the grant, how it's going, and all of this bot
well,
problems.
I can tell you from the grant point of view, we are ahead of schedule, and I think maybe he's not here because he's trying to actually tie this thing off so we have something to show on Monday, Tuesday. You know, that's like 80% done. I mean, he's been working ahead to really get this thing done because we really want to get this syndicates tool set out as quick as possible and get the community involved. And I can tell you about Tron, you know, when he's focused, it's best to just let him work and let him do his thing. And this is how most experienced developers are with his level of experience and expertise, is they
Yeah,
have incredible amount of hyper focus. You know, and you cannot disturb someone when they're in the middle of something and they're hyper focused, because you know, the context, what they call context switching, like when you're doing one thing and jump over to another thing, it's really takes out a lot of time, you know,
yeah,
and then to have to come back to it,
yeah.
you know, you lose a lot of time. So it's better to just let him focus and get it done and everything. So but yeah, I wanted to say about this Wax Detective, you know, it's like better to have an independent, you know, because there might be some other ways to, because Wax Detective, I think the way I'm looking at it is like you put in an account and then you can get this data, and then you can, you know, slice and dice it. But AI would be able to, if you have the API, would be able to fetch the data and analyze the data, you know, really, really, really fast. I mean, you know, it's like Google is like, I had a, let me see, I had a screenshot here, like what Google does and what AI does. Like one is searching and giving you information, and the other is doing. There was like a article about this. But let me just see what, I'm just trying to see if I can find this article. Uh, I mean, yeah, this is, we're a bit spontaneous here, so
Yeah, no, don't worry. You can
yeah,
take your time. I'll have a look if there's any more questions from the chat.
yeah, yeah. What was, yeah, we had Bulga had given something.
I'll read it out whilst you look. So
Yeah.
Bolga said, and we can just check how they work and we can try to stop their moves. I'm sure there is a way to find a concrete place where it's clicked, and I'm 100% sure you can't click on the same place non-stop. I'm not even 100% sure if that's in English, but we'll try
Yeah,
our
no, what
best to.
he's saying is like the moving the button. I had that idea too, but a lot of times there are tools that, you know, because all this stuff has like code, right? If you like do F12 and you can see like there's code or something. So I don't know if it
Yeah.
like detects the code of the button, so it wouldn't matter where it is. I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I imagine that I think that might be a good experiment to see how what we're dealing with, like that the button is moved every day, or
Because they've got that in Alien
um,
Worlds, haven't they? They've got the mine button, and I've seen
yeah.
that changed a few times. Maybe they're trying to combat this problem by doing that already.
Well, they just did a new UI, but I don't see the button like moving. You know,
No, I didn't see the button moving, but yeah, they've done various updates over the 2 years that I've played.
mhm.
But yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I say played quite loosely, but I've clicked mine. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some research on this. There's a program called Selenium, which is used in software testing to kind of automate the testing. It goes through all these routines, and then so that way you don't have to have a clicker, and then it gives you like results. But that can also be used for a bot and then Python. So bot technology is nothing new, but
Mm.
I imagine that if you have like some skills with AI and stuff, you can train a bot, like you can train anything, like they're winning one week, security is winning, type of thing. So it's like anything else, like with hackers and all this. um yeah, hang on, my scrolling is not working here.
Yeah, what's your internet? Because I can see it shows me your internet connection, and it's ranging from 7, 8, 9 out of 10. So it does kind of go up and down a little bit.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's maybe here in Ukraine,
Yeah.
there could be issues. I mean, it's not unheard of. I mean, we were having power cuts and big problems with electricity a couple months ago, and then a bunch of electricians came from all over the world, and all of a sudden one day we weren't having power cuts and we weren't on the schedule anymore. But before, we were on a schedule where we'd get power for 4 hours, it was down for 4 hours, and sometimes we'd be down for 6 or 8. And then now, but the internet fluctuates. I noticed that too, especially when I'm like using streaming software like Google or Telegram. I mean, it just really starts to go all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's not too bad. Put it that way. It's usable. You might
yeah,
cut out for like 2 seconds per minute, maybe.
yeah. I guess a thought I had too, I want to discuss was like, there was a lot of talk about putting more stuff on chain versus off chain. You
Yeah,
know,
I heard a bit about
yeah,
that.
I wanted to clarify that too. Blockchain is not a panacea, right? It's not a solution to every single problem out there with the internet. It's a tool that solves some of the problems, and then there's other tools like, databases, centralized databases. I mean, things were actually in the beginning of the internet very decentralized. Computers were all over the world. Everyone, were hosting their own websites out of their house. I mean, I was doing that. I had a web server set up in my attic and in the 90s, and I was like hosting, and and everything was on my computer hard drive, and I would have it shared. I remember Novell networks, sharing your hard drive with other people's. One person, it was about sharing resources. So someone in the office had a printer, and you would have to, make a share to it to get to the printer, and everything was very highly decentralized. So there was like slowness. If someone's computer was offline, you couldn't get to those files. And then
Yeah.
eventually came this client server model, right? And then came the Oracle databases and all this highly centralized. And these things were fast. They were client server was much faster than having this Novell network, and things were evolving fast. I'm born in 1970, to give you an idea of how old I am, and so I seen this stuff change, and it's always like the battle between centralized and decentralized. I can just say there's a happy medium. I can say that blockchain isn't going to solve every single social ill in the world. Maybe it'll help people, get access to, I always see like this could be the coolest thing for blockchain is that you put stocks, tokenized stocks and bonds, and they can trade freely in the market without an exchange. And then people in third world countries can buy Microsoft, and they would know it's Microsoft. It would be a token versus having to log into Charles Schwab. But the issue then is like it could be used for money laundering or something. So it's I think Binance had tried to tokenize Tesla and tokenize a few stocks, and then they had to pull it because the German regulators didn't like it. But if there was a way to do that, I think that would be incredibly useful to give like
Well,
you
I
know
remember the Tesla coin and the Coinbase coin. Even the Coinbase coin was on Binance.
yeah. Yeah, there was someone had tried that, and they tried to do that, but if it could be done through I don't know, like a brokerage or something, or you have to have like a certain kind of wallet that they know who you are. That could be interesting if they could. I mean, some ideas that come like that, they crash, and then they come back years later. Once they figure out how to do it the right way. But yeah, I want to comment, like, if you put things on chain, it gets slow, and it's also the chain can get clogged. We saw that with CryptoKitties, a simple cat breeding game tied up the whole Ethereum network. So you can't put everything on chain, and if you can, you're going to need a hell of an infrastructure to do it. And then you're back to
Yeah, I
centralized,
feel,
because who owns that infrastructure? Probably Amazon, probably Microsoft, probably Google. Those are your three biggest cloud providers, GCP, AWS, and Azure. So are you really decentralized then? Because you're going to have incredible infrastructure to run everything on chain and at scale, right? You can maybe do it at small levels, like with a few thousand users or even a few 100,000 users. But if you're going to like try to make this like a worldwide phenom, you have to run it at scale, and it's very, very hard. I mean, I was working for EPAM before, and I took the blockchain professionals course, and they talked about that hybrid is inevitable. It's the way to go because not everything can go on chain. So our model is, yeah, we take the gameplay off chain, so it's speed. So there's speed, and you're not paying like fees all the time as well. Like there's always
yeah,
these like.
why would you want the gameplay on chain? Because someone asked me if they could make the gameplay on chain. What would be the benefit of that? Yeah, sorry, I'll say again. So someone asked me about the why isn't the fighting on chain? Now, what would be the benefit of the fighting being on chain? Because I play the game and I have no problems. The gameplay's
No,
great.
it's
What's
a
the
theoretical it's a theoretical ideological thing that everything should be on the chain so that it can't be shut down, right? That someone could go shut down the servers of Battledome, and then Battledome will be gone
Oh,
forever.
right.
So
I see what they're saying. Yeah,
yeah,
no, I
yeah,
get it.
that's the argument. But if the world is that bad, you got bigger problems, right? If
Yeah, because let's face it,
you-
like,
you're you're going to have to worry about your own personal security. I mean, like just like here in Ukraine, like we had the electricity out, we couldn't even get to the internet, and there for a while even water was out. You got bigger problems than your video game being offline. You know,
yeah,
if the world gets to that point where you can't, Amazon decides they don't like Battledome and they want to shut it down. I mean, then 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 we're in Skynet, right? We're in some different era, and
yeah,
but that's like always a dilemma that it's performance, versus this ideological thing. You have to consider the performance, you have to consider the transaction fees, because every time you do something on chain, there's transaction fees, and
yeah, exactly.
and it
Like
could
you try playing. Sorry, I play a lot of crypto games. I'm playing on Binance Chain. I'm playing on Scale Chain a lot. I played on Hecko Chain. I played on OEC. I played on lots of different chains, so I understand all of this. And these transactions on Wax, fortunately, are free. Most blockchains don't do that. It's 20 pence a transaction on Binance, for example. So every time you click fight, that's 20 pence, cents. Sorry, I'm British, but it's
yeah.
20 cents per transaction, and I did that for 6 months. I've spent over £1,000 playing.
Yeah, and people,
Playing.
that limits access. Then people can't. That's like becomes like a rich person's thing, because like 20 cents every time you click. It's like the video arcades back in the
Yeah,
70s. It can eat up a lot of money. So people have
yeah.
to pick their pain. That's what I feel. People have to pick what pain they want.
And that's where it comes down to the ROI. It's like if you're like me and you spent say £1,000 playing on Binance games,
Mhm.
are you making that money back? Are you getting NFTs with a monetary value of what you're putting in? Because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to have fun, and if possible, have fun whilst earning, and
Mhm.
that's why, everyone's saying play to earn, which is a luxury if you ask me, because back in the day it was you pay your money, you get your game, you enjoy your game, and then you go and buy another game. You don't get anything free.
Yeah.
But in this new day and age, everyone wants something for nothing. So on top of giving you a nice game, we're also paying you to play it. It's
But you know, that's
madness.
just user acquisition, right? But then once they get the users, they got to do something with it. I mean, I was, in Istanbul Blockchain Week, there was a guy from Sega, and he was saying that these models have to be supplemented because they can't work on their own tokenomics. So you have to have an ad model, for instance, to bring new money into the system, or you have to
Yep.
have an agreement when they log in that their user data can be sold,
Yeah.
for marketing. There has to be some like because it will just burn out otherwise.
Alex, here's a quick question for you. I don't like to interrupt because you might have had something really great to say there. But what have you thought about the chance of putting adverts into Battledome?
Well, we don't have enough. We don't have enough volume for that, and
No one would want to put an advert there because we've only got, say, 1,000 players, right?
I think even less than that. I think much less than
Yeah.
that. I mean, you have to have like tens of thousands of players. And then, yeah, I would be all for it, but it'd have to be done in a clever, unobtrusive way. It would even have to become part of the game and be
Yeah.
fun. Like like one player chucks a can of Coca-Cola at the other player, or
Yeah.
he uses like a
Yeah.
Bosch powered drill to, you
Yeah.
know,
I
like a
love your way of thinking.
yeah,
Very,
yeah, it would have to be
very, very
something
good.
cool. Like, that you have like, like in this movie RoboCop, they had the 6,000 SUX or whatever car
Yeah.
or something, and
Advertisements within the game,
yeah, like
obviously.
an
So yeah,
ET with the
I
Reese's
agree.
Pieces, right? It's like part of the story. That
No, it's perfect. I really like that.
yeah, it
But
couldn't just be like
yeah,
a banner across the top.
no, we don't want
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
you would say, for example, a sword in the game. It could be sponsored by whoever,
yeah.
whoever. Binance, the Binance sword. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be something like that's integrated and unintrusive, but still has that subliminal message. Like
Totally.
you could get power ups. It could be cheeseburgers, and have a little McDonald
Yep.
logo that you buy some instead of
Yeah.
potions. You buy
Perfect.
some like some vodka, like Stella
This is
Naya vodka or something.
This is an intuitive
Yeah,
mindset I like breaking into with Alex.
yeah,
He's got these ideas. Alex has actually got everything it needs for this game to turn into something special. But like I say, our devs team's ready to go for these Battledome updates. So all you have to do is pass them, and we're ready to go. But I think, would you say it's past the point of us wanting to push any more?
yeah. No, we have to look at some other ideas, and like I said, and just keep moving forward. But I think we've been online for an hour now, right? We probably should wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. I think we've answered everyone's questions. We've definitely been online for an hour.
Yeah.
So if that's everything you wanted to say is done, we will call it a night. There was a competition, so we could maybe just say who the winner was of the competition in our Discord. So we had five people went in for the competition, and the winner was Crypto Jack. So well done, Crypto Jack. You won 15 skulls. That's not bad. You can get a couple of NFTs with that, or you can put it towards a bigger NFT. So I appreciate you guys for joining us in the chat, because one thing about the AMA is you've got to get interactive with the chat.
Yep.
Other than that, this is Captain Morgan signing out, and this is
We'll see you.
Alex.
Mhm.
And we'll see you next time.
Yep. We'll see you.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a great week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.